Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. My name is Elisheva, and I am here this morning with David, and we are sharing with you, according to this week's energy, this week's spiritual energy forecast. In the forecast, we have, unfortunately, opportunities, or fortunately, I guess I should say, to cultivate the energy of humility, to strengthen the qualities within us that help us to be the best version of ourselves. And I think we could have called this show, or we could have assigned the energy, the title to a few different things, perhaps in strengthening leadership, awakening integrity. This week is really going to ask us to step up to the plate in every area of our lives and really become leaders in our own right. So we're going to talk today about what qualities we should strengthen and what pitfalls to look out for. Now, we do this every week, every Monday, LA time, 10 a.m., and of course, streaming all over the world on Facebook. We do this show to share with you the best strategies, the best prescriptions, the best most practical advice for navigating the coming week, taking advantage of both the opportunities to grow and the potential pitfalls, as I mentioned before. And we do that by gleaning through the ancient spiritual technology that we call Kabbalah. David and I are both teachers at the Kabbalah Center. And our goal is to provide our listeners with that strategy for the week, that whatever work we're sharing with you, by integrating that into your week, you can have you'll experience transformation on many different levels, and that will ripple, of course, into the rest of your year. So this week, I have to share with you, it's no coincidences, right? I woke up this morning. Well, I won't get into the details of what I did first, but eventually I picked up my phone and I got onto Instagram and I read this quote. One of our friends, one of David and my friends, posted a quote from Ronald Reagan, and I'm going to read it because it to me was like, and I have to thank the person who did this. I don't know if he posted it last night, but I saw it first this morning, and I was like, yes, this is what we need to talk about today. The quote is, "There is no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit."
Oh, that's so good.
And that's really the lesson of this week. I know from experience, and I can share with you, we'll talk today about different strategies, like I said, but the whole week is set up to show us how we are focused on who gets credit, how we are attached to the outcome, what gets us angry when we're vested in when we're investing in something. What are the buttons get pushed that sidetrack us from truly giving 120% of ourselves? That's what this week is about, and that's why we want to show you the flip side of this. Don't get caught up in the who gets credit. Don't get angry because of what other people are or aren't doing or how things should or shouldn't be. Really be that person. And I know that we all look at people like that and we say, wow, I wish I could be like that person.
What kind of a person?
Somebody who is dedicated, kind, honest, forthright, transparent, genuinely cares. Why don't you want to be around someone who you feel genuinely cares about you and it doesn't have some ulterior motive trying to get something from you?
That's right.
Not only that's who we want to be around, I think that's all who we want to be. But we have this voice inside us that gets in the way and tells us, if you're not going to stay relevant, they're going to forget about you, or you're not going to get credit, or you're not going to get paid. Right? That this perception that my value is attached to my actions and my name, and not necessarily my essence.
You're touching upon the essence of what Kabbalah focuses on, that I often don't see many other paths talk about, which probably should be spoken about more, which is giving is great. Everybody talks about giving and how giving is wonderful and sharing and adding value, and we need to be in a society where we're always sharing with each other. However, the pain that people go through and the chaos that people go through, and everyone's looking for protection right now with all the craziness that's happening in the world. How do I protect myself? The main way a person goes through chaos, if you want to know, is not because of their lack of sharing or giving or adding value to the world, but it has to do with the taking. When a person takes, which we call reactive behavior, when you feel needy or afraid or you're worried about your future, so you start to micromanage your future, you start to micromanage people, you start to be controlling. We call this reactive behavior in Kabbalah. Any thought, word, of action which comes from lack or fear is reactive behavior. That's the moment we open our protection, our aura, and the virus comes in and the chaos comes in. So when we're talking about not needing the credit or not needing the acknowledgement, if I do anything and deep down inside, I want to be acknowledged for, I need to be acknowledged for it, that need is a portal for all forms of viruses, for all forms of chaos. So you lose all your protection. You lose your blessings when you feel you need to receive the thank you, the acknowledgement, the relevancy. Now, you may think, well, how I need to be relevant. Otherwise, if I'm not important in this world, I can't do my job. That's true, but you're not allowed to take it. You're not allowed to scheme to get it. You have to let it go and trust that the creator, the universe will give it to you. And that's why Kabbalah is so important, because it gives you this whole idea of what the creator is about, the relationship with this energy of this universe, so that you can feel safe in doing the spiritual work, letting go, to allow the universe to give it to you. You're not allowed to take. You're not allowed to take. We always give the example of going to your friend's house, imagine you come, they invite you over for dinner. They made this amazing dinner for you. And you walk into the house, you say hi, you walk to their kitchen, you open their fridge, and you just start taking the food. And you just imagine you just put your hand in the chicken and then the rice that they made for you. It's in the fridge or it's in the warmer. And you're going in and you're just taking a spoon. You take a spoon like from imagine you just walk in, you just say hi and you go straight to the kitchen. You're there for a nice evening, maybe a couple different couples. And you go to the kitchen, you take a spoon out of the drawer and you open the oven and the food is staying warm in there and you stick the spoon in the whole pot. And then you start feeding it in your mouth and say, "Oh, this is really good," with your mouth like half full. You go, "Oh, this is really good. This is really good
David's
chicken and rice."
A beautiful picture.
And the host is looking at you saying, "What are you doing?" And your logic says, "Well, you made the food for me, right? I mean, it's my food. I mean,
shouldn't I take it?
I mean, yeah. Did you not invite me over for dinner? I'm having dinner. I'm hungry. I don't want to wait another 30 minutes and schmooze. I want to have my chicken." And then we know that the host would be angry, and the problem, and that's chaos, because you're taking. You have to wait to be served. In life, you have to wait to be served your soulmate. You have to wait to be served the business opportunities. You have to wait to be served respect from your spouse. If you try to take it, that's when the chaos starts.
I had an interesting conversation with someone last week that it was a perfect setup for the energy of this week. And one of the things that I love to see in the personal work that I do with people is how, a lot of people in the show say, they write in the comments, "Oh my God, this is exactly what's happening in my life. Oh, perfect timing." She was going through something, kind of a crisis of sorts, nothing really wrong, but just internal, something needs to change. And I said, if you could pinpoint what's the fear, what's the trigger that's causing all of this upset, all of this frustration in you. And she said, it's the fear of being misunderstood. So we got to talking about it, and
this is her fear.
She realized that this is her fear, or let's say at this point, that's her conclusion. So we started to talk about it, and I said, that's actually a relatively easy switch to flip, because if you're being misunderstood, if the universe is showing you people don't understand you, they don't get your intentions, they misread you, what is that? One time, okay, it happens to everybody once in a while. But if it's a repetitive pattern in your movie, in your life, that's an indication that who you are on the inside is not who you are on the outside. And
you're
week,
confusing people.
Right.
You're confusing people. That's why you're misunderstood.
So like I can, an exaggerated example of that would be, a parent who cares so much about their child that they do their homework for them, right? So the child is doing it out of love and care, but
What do you mean the child is doing
the parent.
Yes.
Not enough caffeine yet. The parent is doing it out of love and care, but the child feels disempowered, angry, frustrated, critiqued, attacked, all those, judged, everything. So we were talking about how creating that synergy between who I am on the inside and who I am on the outside. right? Now, wait a second. This is where this week's energy comes in. Her initial perception was, my inside needs to be tamed. My inside is out of control. My inside is angry, upset. That's who she thinks she really is. And this is why this week's energy is so essential, is that when you quiet the external noise and you listen to what's going on inside, and it is about, well, what if they forget me?
Right.
Or, somebody's out to get me and I got to do better than them so that I keep my job, or I get the promotion, or I don't lose that taking energy that David was talking about. It's important to understand that that's not who we really are. That's really what I want to make sure that in an effort to develop and strengthen that, the integrity that we all strive for, that humility, it's not about the part of us that is, tuning into that fear-based part and making sure that that's what broadcasts outside. Underneath that layer. And next week we'll talk more about the different layers and really unleashing the true light within us. But this is like the step before that, is making sure that I'm connecting more with that quiet, still voice inside that knows it's all going to be okay. And the light is cooking the dinner for me. I'm just going to wait until, right? Like there's that battle between the voice that thinks, I got to eat now or there's not going to be enough food for me.
Right.
And the part of me that knows dinner served at 7:30 and I just have to wait a little longer.
The Zohar, which is the book that decodifies the Bible, which is the spiritual technology of the soul. The Zohar talks about what a person should do when there is judgment in the world, when there's like a plague. And plague doesn't have to literally mean a plague. It can mean anytime you feel there is a lot of chaos brewing around you. So the Zohar says that, in short, it has to do with humility. Because if a person wants protection, they have to connect with humility. And what is the definition of humility? I think sometimes people think humility means like looking like a poor person.
Oh, I have it. You ready?
You have it there?
I have it. I wrote another quote.
You
ready?
Share it.
This is the quote from C.S. Lewis. I was so inspired this morning reading and writing. And
what it means, what it looks like.
Right. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less.
Not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Yes, I like it.
And
people associate usually humility with, like,
I'm nobody.
I'm a nobody.
Right.
I should be depressed. I should have a sad face. I shouldn't be ostentatious.
I should be invisible.
I should be invisible.
Humility and invisibility are not synonymous.
The Kabbalistic definition of humility is, I want everything, but I'm willing to let go.
So that's the key. That's like going back to now we're going to bounce between Ronald Reagan and C.S. Lewis. It's the desire is infinite.
Yes, your desire has to increase with humility.
Right. That's the key. It's not about, and perfect for the month of Pisces, because the typical Pisces
decreases the desire.
The desire is so minute.
That's right.
That it can lead to depression, laziness, procrastination, all of the things that we consciously don't want. That's but right. That lack of desire is so detrimental to any kind of growth, whether you talk about spiritual growth, monetary growth, all those other things. The problem is in the attachment. And that idea that I want to add value. I want to contribute my energy. And how it turns out, I'm leaving that up to the light.
This is we got to read it. We have to reiterate it. If you want miracles and protection, your desire needs to increase. Your expectation to receive and your need to receive needs to become diminished. And that's painful for people, because people rather shut down their desires. If I have to let go of something, I'd rather also let go of the desire for it too. Right. It's very hard for people to want something and let go of the need for it. So for example, let's say you want this relationship, that you were in a relationship, this person left you. And
it's easier just not to want a relationship.
It's easier not to want a relationship. Exactly.
Right.
But you have to it's easier to say, it's easier to demonize the person. Right. Let's say this guy left you or this girl left you and you're in pain, but you want to be with them. What do? Usually how our internal opponent works is remove the desire to be with a relationship. Actually, I've seen people start dating the other sex after that point. I've seen sometimes a woman actually start dating women because she doesn't want to have that she wants to contract her desire for a man. It's interesting. I've seen this a lot of times with my students of why they all of a sudden changed sexual preferences is because they was too painful.
This is not conscious.
No, not conscious, unconscious.
Right, okay, I want to make sure.
And then they would say maybe they're bisexual, and it could be as well. But I've also seen it where dating the same sex was never on their mind, but after they got hurt so many times with the opposite sex, what they did is they completely decided to remove the desire for that opposite sex, because for them, dating the opposite sex always meant failure or some kind of pain. So when you're in pain, what do? You don't want to feel pain. So what she did is she removed her desire completely. And that's not good. In fact, you have to increase your desire, but let go of your expectation from men, or stop needing them to give you a certain thing, or women, however way you look at it. So if you're looking for someone to tell you, I'm sorry, if you're looking for someone to text you and say how you're doing, because, hey, I mean, we had 2 years of a relationship, but the least you could do is text and say how I'm doing, all of that is neediness. And neediness is the way that the virus enters the body. That's how disease and chaos enters through our aura and enters into our soul as soon as we become needy. Want it all, but let go of the need from these specific people or situations to give it to you.
Right. And I want to go back because, David, we both kind of touched on an idea, and I want to make sure that it's clear to everyone. I know that for us it's clear. I want to make sure that for our listeners it's clear. That attachment, right, that need, wanting to have the response be a certain way, wanting the return to look or feel or be a specific amount, that's the root of anger. The fact that I'm entitled to, maybe entitlement is a word that not everybody relates to. I deserve the text back. I deserve the raise. I deserve the corner office. I deserve, you know what a lot of people say? I deserve peace and quiet. And they don't get it. And it makes them angry, which diminishes the peace and quiet, right? It's this crazy cycle that takes place in people's lives. The perception that I deserve, and you may very well deserve, but the perception, the mindset, the attachment to what you deserve, that is the cause, I would say, of 75% of people's misery in life. And definitely the cause of anger. Anytime you're angry, you want to call it upset, you can call it upset, but it's actually anger. You're upset about something that you didn't get or you expected or you should, although that word should is also the poster child for what we're talking about. It's because of that perception and that attachment that this is mine and I didn't get it.
Oh, I just had an amazing thought based on what you just said. Gosh. Oh, yes. I have a secret. Evidence has showed from the people that I meet with historically, and maybe you can back this up, that whatever it is that you want or you feel like this is yours or you have to have it, we have this fixed image of it. It's good to have goals, of course. But anytime I had a student who said, this is what I want, but I also let go and I'm open to the Creator giving me more, in the end, always received more than what their goals were.
Right. That's key to remember, because it's not. There's no diminishment. You don't get less from this attitude. You get more.
Right. And the reason why we feel angry is we think we're angry because we didn't get what we want. The Creator has found a roundabout way to give us more. But because we were so fixated on the way we wanted to receive it, and we feel like it has to be done this way at this time, we're so fixated. That's the neediness again. That's where the anger comes from. So every time we feel anger or frustration, we know that we're being needy and we're not opening ourselves up to receive more. The universe wants to give us more, and maybe just not in the time we want it, in the way we want it. But the sooner that we can start letting go and opening up those muscles, the let go muscles, start contracting those let go muscles, you will see that the end result will be that you have more.
There's a common theme that I find in not only in my own studies of Kabbalah and my background, but I think in general among spiritual thought, even religious, by the way, very present themes in religion talk about us being human beings, being children of God, children of the Creator or servants of the Creator. And I came across this amazing teaching, and I think it may be a little bit deep for some of us, but I think if you can think of it in these two modes, right? That first of all, it's really interesting to think why in some texts are we called children of the Creator and sometimes we're called servants of the Creator. Okay, it doesn't matter. I mean, maybe it does matter, but we won't get into it here. But
it doesn't matter for today's show.
It doesn't matter for today's show, right? So the idea is that, and maybe the word servant also is very archaic in today's.
By the way, as soon as you're saying this, people are like their allergy to religion is just be activated.
So if you're allergic to religion, listen up, because I am debunking the religious aspect. Don't use the word servant even. I think in modern terms it would be employee. We're either employees of the Creator or children of the Creator, okay? Because servant is a little bit...
I need my religion Claritin and my allergies are flaring.
David, I'm not stopping what I'm saying,
no
matter how allergic you are. David's face is going to start swelling. That when we're doing the spiritual work, when we are working on transforming, you know what? I do want to stick my spoon into the chicken and rice, but I know the Creator wants to give me appetizers before, and they're going to be... Okay, David. I was thinking like bacon wrapped hot dogs, okay? But okay. So anytime we're making that effort to transform our selfishness, to share when it's uncomfortable for us, to not be needy, to not grab the energy immediately, that's when our work is to be a child. This is my family business and I'm going to give my all. I'm going to give regardless of, how difficult it is, because I love this company. I love my life, and I want to be as much of a giver, and I'm invested in it. I have skin in the game, and eventually it's going to be mine, right? If I think about it as the family business, I know that I'm setting up my success for later on. The time to act like an employee is when we're attached to the results. When we're look at how hard I worked, what did I get in exchange? Because if you're an employee, you know what to expect, meaning I'm going to get oxygen in my lungs, I'm going to get a roof over my head, I'm going to get a certain paycheck. And if you get anything beyond that,
it's a surprise.
It's a bonus. You get whatever recognition, acknowledgement, and gifts. And we want to talk about money. Maybe it is a bonus, maybe it is a promotion, but whatever else we get is a bonus. I don't know how else to say it. Is a gift.
You feel it's a gift.
You value it as though you didn't deserve it.
So, for example, studies have shown that when you want to pay your employees or give a bonus to your employees, let's say you're giving a bonus around Christmas time or the end of the year, because there's a level of expectation for it.
Right. You're disappointed when you don't get it.
You're disappointed when you don't get it, and when you do get it, it's like, okay. But studies have shown that if you surprise your employees, it can be even 1/10 of what the actual year-end bonus is. But if you surprise your employees with gifts or bonuses or whatever it is, you give them unexpectedly, there's a higher level of appreciation, because what happens is they weren't needy for it. They didn't need it or expect it. And when they received it, then they felt the energy of it.
That acknowledgement and recognition when it's unexpected is more valuable than when it's expected.
And the reason why you're sharing this, if I'm not mistaken, is we need to train ourselves to want everything but not expect it, because then when it comes, that's the miracle of it. That's the pleasure of it. And here's the other thing: when you're expecting something, you actually push it away. So it says the person who's looking to be respected.
Right. Try chasing a butterfly.
That's right. That's right. If you're looking to get something, it's going to run away from you. If you're looking for respect or honor, it says that respect and honor runs away from you. So a lot of times people are always wondering, frustrated why people don't acknowledge them. Because you're waking up wanting that acknowledgement, and it gives a message to everyone in the world: don't acknowledge you. It's a stench, actually. There's a spiritual stench upon each person who wants respect or needs respect or is needy of it. There's like there's an app for it where you scan the person, and it says needy.
Well, the truth is, the real reason I wanted to share it is because I had a huge aha moment about this. I know I told David about it earlier last week, and I've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And for me, and I wish there was time to change the title of the show and everything, my aha moment, like at 4 a.m. on Saturday night, Sunday morning. The truth is, what this week is asking us to do is to redesign our personal brand. that I am the product. And how do I want my friends, my family, my coworkers, my employer, my clients to, look at the different eco-verses that you have around you. What do you want? What kind of brands do you want to shop from? And what do you want people to say about you? That you're kind, that you're giving. And in business, you work with a company that's not honest or not transparent or is doing something seedy or what, you want to run the other way. This week, the universe is asking you, what are those key qualities that you want to radiate with, and pick them, do them go all the way with them, because that's what's going to increase your bottom line. What's your bottom line? Your happiness, your success, your fulfillment, the right people walking in the door. If you live your life under those key, you want to call it your key values, your mission statement, but this is the week that the universe is saying you are a leader in your own life. What are the qualities that leader has?
What blocks most people from being leaders, and I want our audience to think about it, is what person in your life or situation in your life is hijacking your consciousness and occupying your brain space. Because the more we are consumed with what other people are doing or how they're acting or what they're saying or how they're treating us or how they can or should treat us, we to that effect, we're also not being the light, the creator, the leader. And as a result, we're just slowing down our progress. We're slowing down our spiritual metabolism. We allow people to hijack our consciousness. What percentage of our day are we allowing other people to occupy our brain space? And it's all about constantly moving forward, constantly planting the right seeds. People are going to do what they're going to do, but at the very least, you need to do the right thing, the spiritual right thing, as we learn in the wisdom of Kabbalah. Somebody wrote something interesting. I would like to see how you want to answer it, Elisheva. So Mike wrote, how do we deal with people that are needy towards us? So we just said, don't worry about what other people do, but what if it's a relationship? Someone's needy towards us. He writes, so what if my significant other wants more affection and her expectation goes beyond what is natural to me and it is not me, yet not receiving this makes her blow up in neediness? How would you answer that, Elisheva?
I would ask, and as usual, David usually says, well, I have more questions. But my question would be, has there ever been a period of time in your life where you've given according to supply and demand in that relationship?
Yeah, that's the way I was going to answer it too.
That to me, and now
we need to explain what you just said.
Well, okay. The actually, in last week's show, we talked about, I think Batya kind of blew up the lines, the internet crashed because she was saying that 99% of the relationship is on the woman. And that if a woman is needy, she needs to go check herself, right?
It's interesting. I would say it's the man, but okay.
But it's good that you would say that.
As a man, I have to say that.
Right, exactly. But that's what I wanted to say to Mike and anyone else who's listening or reading, is that idea, the goal of each person being responsible for the relationship and feeling that deep sense of ownership, and I get to determine how the energy in our relationship flows, whether the other person is spiritual or not. Doesn't matter, right? If I'm taking full responsibility for my part in the relationship, let's say talking to Mike in this example, I would try it. Like, for all you know, that going toward whatever, meeting the needs of your significant other, how you don't know what kind of blessings and joy that will bring you. You just know that, like David said, you have the allergy to it right now. But if you take the Claritin, the spiritual Claritin, and let's say I'm going to do it for 3 months. I'm giving myself 3 months. I don't know what Mike is saying she needs, but whatever, I'm going to serve, right? I'm going to give whatever is asked of me for those 3 months and see what happens.
So on that note, I agree with you. And the way I would address this, for the question, everybody wants to hear the question again, is what if you have a partner who's needy of your time and energy and it's not the way you want to give, and it causes them actually to be more needy? If this is a long-term committed relationship, especially a marriage, this is what I have noticed. This is the spiritual rule of relationships. If let's say she is not is needy, it's because Mike hasn't fully understood what the energy her vessel needs. So he's not giving her the energy that she requires, which is causing her to overcompromise and become needy in other ways. And this is why I would tell the man, or in this case Mike, to take full responsibility. She wants a glass of water. He's pouring her Mountain Dew because he loves Mountain Dew.
That's like the mom who's doing the homework for the child.
Yes, he loves Mountain Dew. And he's like, look, I give you 9 glasses of Mountain Dew and you're still complaining. And you're still always talking about, And sometimes she doesn't know she needs a glass of water or she wants a glass of water. So she says a bunch of things. And that confuses Mike even more. So yes, if I was Batia, I would tell the woman to be clear about what she wants. If I'm me, I'm going to tell Mike, the reason why your soul chose this woman and this woman chose you and the Creator put the two of you together is so that you can learn a not just to be this one-hit wonder, just not have one what's the word? One talent.
One-trick pony.
Well, yeah, you're a one-trick pony. There it is. You're a one-trick pony. And you're giving in a certain way. And the only reason she's needy is she's reacting to your lack of being the light in the relationship in other ways. And I would do an audit and say, where am I not being the light in this relationship? Well, what does it mean being the light? You got to take Kabbalah 1. You got to learn the basics of Kabbalah where you understand how to be the light. And
by the way, just now that you mention it, if you haven't taken Kabbalah 1 yet, I love to plug it because I want to be transparent about this. The reason I feel so fancy free about plugging it is because every single person that I talk to about it says their life has never been the same afterwards. So it's not, I know that the world is a better place because of it, and that's why I'm not ashamed to talk about it.
We had a record number of people take Kabbalah1.com last month, and a lot of them came from this show.
Right.
A lot of people.
So I want to make sure that you guys know, as listeners of the show, you can get 30% off by using the code WEB30 when you go onto Kabbalah1.com. That's KabbalahOne.com. Tell them we sent you. No, you don't have to because you have the coupon code. But I think that it really is the most powerful way. If you're at odds with anything you ever hear us say, Kabbalah1.com, Kabbalah One will help you not agree with us. The goal is not for you to become a sheep, but really to understand where we're coming from and test it out yourself. Because one of the fundamental first things you hear in Kabbalah is, don't believe a word we say. Test it out yourself. If it works for you, great. If not, toss it.
100%.
And somebody mentioned here also, one of the things that can help Mike, if you haven't already, is to read the 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman.
Yeah, it's great.
It's a quick read, book. And it's amazing way to get closer to all the people in your life, not just your significant other. I think it's a great way to better understand humanity.
That's right. I agree. I think the 5 love languages is a way to understand the vessel of the other person and not just given the way you enjoy giving.
Right. So the mom doing the homework of the child, maybe the mom's love language would be acts of service,
right? But
the child's love language is words of affection. It's really interesting to see how that plays out. So that's another.
We don't have a promo code for that book.
No. But it's like $6 on Amazon. No need for a promo code. Okay, so back to what we were talking about, and I think that thinking about the rebranding yourself this week.
Yeah.
As far as we actually have a number of factors that make this week specifically powerful for personal rebranding.
Okay.
Looking at for me, it helps to look at the people I look up to. Or why do I look up to them? What are the qualities that I want to receive from osmosis from them? I want to say adopt, but the truth is there's some people in my life I like to hang out with just because I'm hoping I'll catch whatever awesome qualities they have. But seriously, the universe is going to show us this week those areas of our lives that we do have the attachment. And it's great that Mike brought it up because I want everybody to embrace those opportunities. Don't shove them under the rug. Don't pretend that they're not there, because those moments, those thoughts are opportunities for us to get to know, wait a second, no, behind this desire for attachment is a gourmet 6-course meal that my friends have cooked for me, and I'm just looking for the empty carbs. And don't look for the empty carbs. The attachment, when David was talking before about how if you let go, you get so much more, I had like a slideshow appear in my mind of all these times in my life where that happened, where, you know, and I know this is I use this example, I think I shared it after it happened, but it's like, you know, you're going on vacation, you get to the hotel room and they say they don't have your reservation. But they feel so terribly about it that they give you the penthouse suite. And you've been so excited for your double room, you know, overlooking the swimming pool, and you end up getting, because of some mistake, quote unquote. Now, that doesn't usually happen, but it's sitting at the desk and saying, you know what, this is all for the best. It's not meant to be. I can let go of my attachment to the double room overlooking the pool. And that in turn, the universe is rigged to get us to that higher state of mind where we can receive more. Our work this week is to stop holding on to the double room, the bag of peanuts, the rice in the oven, I don't know, instead of the foie gras, you know, that's waiting in the fridge. Really to be open to the fact that these little attachments, right? Why is this the show about humility? Because in order for you to be connected, or let's say disconnected from those attachments, you have to be less focused on the minute desires and more attached to the big picture.
Here's an argument a lot of people have against what you're saying right now. They say, but I feel it. I feel it strongly. I feel strongly that this is my path, or I feel strongly that I need to make a decision to move on. I feel strongly that this is a relationship I should be in. You're fighting with your parents. You're telling them this is the guy or this is the girl. And we feel so strongly inside of ourselves. And now that you come on this show and we're saying, well, let go. And we got to be very clear about what we're saying. Doing the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing. A lot of times you feel strongly inside your soul.
Somebody should make that into a bumper sticker. Doing the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing.
I think people don't realize. They think, well, I feel like I know we're meant to be together. I hear this about relationships all the time. I know we're meant to be together. I feel it so strong. I feel it so strong. And by the way, you might be right. You might even be soulmates. But if you connect too soon or even too late, that's chaos. You may feel like you have some kind of purpose in, to move to Europe. Leave LA, move to Europe. You feel like there's a calling there, a spiritual calling, a career calling. Yes, but if you move too soon or you move too quick, move too soon or move too late, it's also chaos. We have to find that sweet spot. So people are like, well, how do I know if it's too soon or too late? Mm-hmm. As long as you're needy, it's too soon. As long as you're needy, it's too soon.
I don't think you've ever said more important words. Say it one more time. As long as you're needy.
People want to know when is the right time to do something. If you feel something strong in your heart, yes, it means there's truth to it. It probably means you need that thing or some version of that thing. But if you connect to it too soon, it's going to be chaos.
Okay, I know. I'm thinking of someone specifically that she is driven to a certain project.
Yeah.
I promise it's going to reveal lots of light. It's going to awaken lots of people. It's going to help the world. It's physically like choking her. She wants to do it so badly, but she has none of the other pieces in place.
That's right.
This is what she needs to hear?
She needs to let go of the need to do it today, but still work towards making it happen. So it doesn't mean she needs to give up on it. She needs to let go of the neediness of it happening right now and the anxiousness she feels around it. And the fact that she can't sleep at night about it. And the fact that she's upset with the other people who are blocking her from making it happen. When you start to feel upset at the other people blocking you, it also means that you're needy, you have expectation, and that it's too soon. So even if they weren't blocking you, there would be chaos.
So to me, what worries me about those scenarios, and again, I often see that in relationships, like you were saying before, this rushing into a relationship without giving it the proper time, smothering the person because you're so sure they're the one, not me, of course, other people. Right. But that what ends up happening is that you're not present. So there may be opportunities that are coming at you that you're missing because you're so focused on something that the opportunity that's not even yet in front of you.
That's right.
And I think all of us are, that idea that when anything external is controlling us, right? Anything any sort of stimulation, or let's look at it the other way. Imagine life where nothing outside of you bothered you or got in your way. I want to say there's another word I'm looking for. Imagine a reality in which there was no stimulation from the outside that, or let's put it this way, you don't need anyone or anything outside of you in order to go forward or to be happy. Imagine your life like that. What would you need internally in order to be that person? I don't need other people, meaning you may need to work, right? You may need to, there may be a team of people that you work with. You may have a family, but you don't need anything from them, or you don't need them in order to be who you need to be. That to me is freedom. That nothing outside of me makes me feel this way or that, or prevents me from anything this way or that. Positive, or, I don't want to say prevents me from something negative. Hopefully my friends and family prevent me from things that are negative. But that idea that I am to me, that's leadership. I want to be a leader in my own life. And that means recognizing that everything I need, I have within me. I left you speechless. That's never a good sign.
No, I was thinking about something you were just saying.
Well,
what about the people who right now saying, you know what, I'm there. I don't need anything. I don't need anyone. I'm good. It's always so obnoxious to hear people say that. Is it just me? Don't you feel obnoxious when people say, I'm already there? The problem with that is...
Well, I was that person, though. I want to come out of the closet, out the gate, and tell you that the first time I heard about being reactive...
You thought you already accomplished it?
Yeah. I don't react. When something happens outside of me, I don't react. And I thought, okay, maybe I don't need Kabbalah. And then I realized that my reactive behavior was my non-reaction, right? That I shut down. Everything's okay, la 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 la.
There it is. I was about to say, the people who say, you know what, I don't need anything. The reason why you don't need anything is you shut down.
Right. Thank you. Recovering.
It's very easy. It's very easy not to need anything when you're a corpse.
I'm here to represent.
And if you're upset that I just said that, then you're getting reactive. So it means you need something.
You can call in and well, you don't take call-ins anymore. You can comment in the below and we can talk about it. But it's true. There is a degree in it. People who, I think that when a person is in that state, they've shoved their feelings so far away that it can't even, it's like under blankets and pillows that are so thick that they're no longer in touch with what they're not okay with.
That's right. The heart is closed in those cases in some way.
All right, let's end the show on an uplifting note, not a
This is a very positive month. People are seeing miracles. I know there's challenges, but this is a very positive month if you take advantage of it. There's a lot of joy if you play by the rules.
That's actually really, what do you win this month? Joy. By playing by the rules, you will be a happier person. And I think that that's something, it's a big paradigm shift when you think your perception is that my happiness is going to come from when I get certain things or I achieve certain things. And then Kabbalah comes and tells you, no, there's happiness. There's more happiness right now than you're even going to get when you achieve those things. And here are the steps to manifest that.
You got to play by the rules. Yesterday we went to a kid's birthday party and we brought our 3-year-old. And I said, well, why can't we bring our 1-year-old to my wife? And he said, well, that's his nap time. I said, oh, so he'll skip it. She's like, structure creates freedom. We don't mess with the structure. He's sleeping. He's not coming. And I thought it was really powerful. Structure creates freedom. People who, a lot of times, people are Aquarius. They want to be free. They have no structure. They just do whatever they want. When you play by the rules, you have joy and you have freedom. When you don't play by the rules, you're actually boxed in. It's an irony. Can
you give like a non-3-year-old example, non-1-year-old example about that?
Well, I think a lot of times people are afraid of relationships or they have an allergy to relationships because they feel it boxes them in or they lose control. But really, relationships are powerful because they give you structure. They give you a framework by which to earn your higher self. Without a relationship, you really don't have a clue what to do. I mean, people are lying to you all day long. People are manipulating you all day long. People are saying one thing to you because they want another thing from you. In a relationship, you can't manipulate it. In a long-term relationship, there's a structure. And when you learn how to compromise in that structure and to transform within that structure, then you have freedom. Because then everything opens up. You don't have fears anymore. You don't have that neediness anymore. I think a relationship does a great job of creating structure for people. And I think there's a lot of other modalities, but relationships are the biggest one. And I hear a lot of people don't like to be in relationships because they feel it boxes them in. But that box actually can create freedom.
I wonder what you would say to the people that have that crazy regimented structure and go ballistic when they don't have that structure.
That's being needy. That's being needy to the structure,
Okay.
and that's why Kabbalah teaches you to have a relationship with the Creator. So when all else fails, when everything in this physical world disappoints you, you know that you have a relationship with the Creator, and you fall back on it, and you have certainty. So you're not freaking out anymore.
I know. I've known people that they have to have the same breakfast every day, or they have to if they don't do things a certain way, they worry. They're afraid. And by the way, even from in a spiritual context, I know people that if they don't do their meditation at a certain time, they worry, or if they miss a certain connection, they're afraid. There is a structure to follow, but part of the game of life is knowing how to recoup when you don't necessarily follow the structure.
To be agile.
Agile, that's the word.
Agile. Jet ski, not a cruise ship. Definitely not a cruise ship with the coronavirus.
I know you want to talk about that. You have 3 minutes. Go.
There's a cruise ship that barely moves, and then there's a cruise ship with corona that doesn't move at all.
Have you ever been on a cruise, David?
Many a time.
Okay.
I am a fan of the cruise ship.
Just not right now.
I just would not be on it right now. But, here's the thing. You can go on a cruise ship now as long as you have humility. Because humility is the new hand sanitizer. Wash your hands and let go of your neediness, and that's the protection against the coronavirus. And you heard it here first.
Wow. Well,
I mean, Amazon's all sold out of hand sanitizers. I don't know if you know that. The number one search term right now is hand sanitizer. It used to be iPhone cable or something weird like that. There are no more hand sanitizers on Amazon. So your next best bet is humility.
have a fabulous week. Share the show, comment, rate, and review. We are on Facebook, IGTV, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, CastBox, and Stitcher. Humility is the new hand sanitizer. You heard it here first, and we'll see you next week on the Weekly Energy Boost.